Greetings, everyone. I'm what
Yeah,
hamster.
yeah, greetings.
And
We'll go with that.
I promised you that I'd have a really great armor setup. What I plan on doing.
This armor isn't too bad for actually being armor.
This, but with a hammer combined.
Oh yes, I do like hammers, as I'm sure you've gathered.
So I took Bareth, chopped him up, and I've got attack up medium, got adrenaline, which is really good if you are good at Monster Hunter.
Yeah, well,
By getting punched. And Marathon Runner, which is the perfect thing for hammer. What Marathon Runner does is... Well, let's explain adrenaline first. If you're on low health, you'll get more defense with adrenaline +1. Not too useful. When you get adrenaline +2, you also get an attack buff, and this attack buff is very powerful.
Indeed.
Also,
if you're good enough not to take another hit and end up dead, adrenaline can greatly speed up fights.
Oh, very much so. So, as you noticed, I did some farming, and the farming upgraded his mask, and now I have a 3rd slot, as I mentioned in the last video.
Yeah,
Mask
congratulations.
upgrade. Or level up, I should say. It's Marathon Runner, to go quickly over it. I can hold down the charge button for longer and lose stamina a lot slower. And this makes it great because you can time your attacks a little bit more without having to worry about your stamina. And it also means you can hold the run button down for longer without using stamina as fast.
Oh yes.
And this is good for certain kinds of missions. And you'll probably hate me for this, but I'm going to say it right now. I did manage to get a Transporter Pro not decoration, but what's it called? Charm, yeah. So.
And yes, I hate you for that.
So in theory, I could use this armor with the Transporter Pro thing, but I just go with the Lock-Lack armor because that's what most people go with when they do those sorts of things.
Right.
And to not awaken your ire too much.
Too late. Too late. I don't care how you do it, I care that you have the option.
Yeah, the thing is, everybody but him has, in multiplayer, been getting that charm. That gives Transporter Pro plus
I have to
8 or 10.
do all kinds of crazy gemming on things, and
Such a pain.
Oh well, I have an armor set aside for it now at this point, since I don't use it as my main armor set anymore.
So, yeah, here I'm just taking care of a little bit of farm business. You know,
Right.
let some things upgrade. Why not? It's always handy. And, you know what? Let's go talk to the pig.
Oh yeah.
But, this Pako hammer here, this is the hammer that we mentioned earlier that is the, basically the earliest fire weapon, really.
Yep.
And that's what happens if you don't get the timing right. He just runs off. He doesn't like being petted too much. It's kind of like a cat.
He is, and I appreciate the wave too.
Yeah, I thought that was cute myself. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna wave. Bye, pig. So that is kind of the hint that, yes, that was intentional, because it does have that thing where it runs off.
Right.
And if you're, what's it called, superstitious, and still believe the whole thing where, like, pet the pig and you get better drops.
Well, if you believe
I
that,
just fucked
still,
up
you're
my
a moron.
drops.
You're a moron.
Yeah. So according to these
Seriously.
people, I just fucked up my drops. I will get no items, according to them.
That's such a stupid myth.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the maybe the superstition about it, but it's been debunked so much, people still claim it all over the place.
Well, maybe there was like one game where it was actually something like that. Like maybe the MMO Monster Hunter Frontier, they did something like that for a while, and that
Nope.
game.
I am afraid I have to burst your bubble on that.
No,
It has not been done in a Monster Hunter game at all.
Oh, it hasn't.
No.
I could see it as a thing they did in a really early game.
Right, but no, they never did. It's
And I think we got a really good setup here.
yeah.
Inline
you
Lander I
do.
can't use for anything, but the Defender High and
Oh, Defender High is great, no matter what you're doing.
Polisher, considering how bad the sharpness is in this thing.
Oh yeah, this polisher is pretty great.
And I don't know what the percentage is of how often it's just like having the sharpening skill and armor, but it seems to happen pretty often.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And yeah, I actually might want to remember to pick the mission before I leave.
That's not important. You know where you're going.
Yeah. No, I
Just won't get credit.
I just like how sometimes I run off. I'm like, for some reason, just by instinct, I'm like, reflexes. I totally have the mission. I can move on. Like, oh wait, no, I don't.
Well, you do now.
I do indeed now. And we're gonna be doing a little bit different, something a little bit different in this video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing something very different in this video, and I'll explain it when we get to Gobul.
All right then. I will wait with bated breath.
Yep. For now, we're gonna take the shortcut and actually show the shortcut up properly, like where you end up. Even though we've kind of told you in the video where you end up, so there's no mystery behind that.
Sure there is.
But
everyone's gonna be so surprised because we lied.
No, you end up at 6. And the first time you fight Gobul, he will always be in 6, so you can get this video.
And every other time you fight Gobul, he will not be in 6.
No, he'll be... I think it's 4. I think that's 4. Yeah.
But they have to have their intro cutscene.
And you know what? He's a fish.
He sure is a fish.
This is Gobul. He will suck you in and bite you, just as we mentioned a few videos ago that there was a monster that did that.
Terrible. It's a bad thing to get caught by.
Oh, yeah, he'll murder you. And so, he decides, I've spotted you, I'm gonna fight you, and then... nothing. He knows I'm here. But here's the thing, you can, remember the whole thing with the Sonic Bombs and Royal Ludrith? Yeah. So you can get him out of his hiding if you know kind of where the vicinity he's in. Just like that. And you can get free hits on him.
How useful.
Only works when he's not in range. If you're trying to
As
fight
with
him,
everything.
If you're trying to fight him underwater, you usually see bubbles, but they're kind of erratic. And they look a little bit different. Not to mention you'll see like a little mound of dirt. But you know what? I'm quitting the mission because, you know what? Who wants to fight him in somewhere other than 4? So let's do a little jump cut to 4.
I'll give you that. That's the boring way to fight him.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm not going to fight him yet. I'm going to show a little thing you can do. Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is the brave people thing.
Yeah. This is pretty much the best way to get Gobul Whiskers in the entire game. Just quickly go up to him. Here's your thing. Tap the gather button as you're getting close to him, because if you get too close without gathering, you have to be like just at the edge of where you can gather to not get his attention, to be able to get like the 2 cards.
Right.
But you know what? As I said, that's boring. We don't want to fight him.
Oh, goodness.
He has so much to show off.
He's an interesting monster.
Yeah, he actually has a few gimmicks.
I like Gobul.
So let's try this. You like him just because he makes your favorite hammer.
No, actually has nothing to do with it. I like his concept and his execution.
I know. It's just, I wanted to point that out. He makes your favorite hammer.
The hammer is a bonus.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
This is the fun way to fight him. This is the best way to fight him.
It's very satisfying.
Take a frog, you go fishing, and you complete your subquest reward.
He's good friends with Plesioth.
Yep. You fish the giant fish out of the water. Go figure. And you don't even have to press a button. It'll just do it for you. So don't worry.
Upper body strength. Seriously, upper body strength.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna try to get those delicious head hits, but fail. I got 1 hit in the head, but whatever.
Your timing was a bit awkward there. Yep.
Yeah. I got 2 hits at least, but not on the head. But whatever.
Oh, well.
Damage. So when you fish him up, you'll get a free shiny, and that's kind of the reason why you want to do it. Free hit, a free shiny,
yes.
and you get him up on land where he's not going to be as big of a threat. But he can still hurt you if you're not careful, but he's still a bigger threat in the wind. So this is just the best way to start the fight. This guy has very sparse breaks, though, I should point out. You can cut off his tail and break the lantern on his head. Cutting off the tail is just like cutting off the tail of the other monsters. He'll have a smaller hitbox. Won't hit you.
Well, it's a disappointing tail cut in this case. It doesn't cut off much of the tail at all.
No, it doesn't, so it really doesn't do much.
If you see big spikes on the tail, it cuts off behind that.
Yeah, it cuts off the fin on the tail.
Yeah, it's pretty useless.
And breaking the lantern, as you might have noticed, will stop it from blinding you and flashing. Which is...
We'll still try, though.
You'll still try those, but because you know this will happen, you get 3 hits on it.
Yep.
And the best way to break the lantern, bring a hammer.
Bring a hammer.
Damage attacking the lantern with a hammer on his entire body. And not to mention, you're KOing him, and then whenever you KO him, his hammer, not his hammer, but the lantern droops down so you can actually hit it properly.
Right.
That's the best way to hit the lantern on land. If he's in water, it's a little easier to hit the lantern because you can swim from all sides, but it's still tricky because he's in motion.
It's still a bit easier than it is on land, though. But regardless, the fight goes on plenty long enough for you to get it.
And this is another attack. His tail swipe is probably one of the most obnoxious attacks he has. That is actual attack.
Oh
See
my.
the spikes in his tail? It has paralyzing venom in it, and it will instantly paralyze you.
Yep. Guaranteed, unless you have full paralyzed resistance.
Mm-hmm. So, enjoy your paralyze, I guess. Speaking of which, he makes your first paralyzed weapons parts.
Paralyzed weapons are great.
Well, depends on the...
Well, some of them are.
Some of them are really great, and some of them are just kind of bad.
For those who are paying attention, they might have gathered that the paralysis hammer is pretty great.
Yeah, makes his favorite weapon. Also, the paralysis sword and shield is pretty much the best paralyzed weapon in the entire game.
Sword and shield is always really good with its element or,
Status oriented.
status. Yeah. But that's the benefit of sword and shield. Because it sure isn't raw damage.
No, it certainly isn't. But that being said, you don't want to use the paralyzing weapon on your own. You want to use it in multiplayer where people can benefit from the monster being paralyzed a lot. And if you stack paralyze, like everybody brings a paralyzed weapon, maybe 1 or 2 people has sword shield paralyze. Yeah, this guy's history. Any guy's history, really.
Oh yeah, you just lock them down.
Lock them down, they can't do anything. I think we do that when I do get to posting those videos, or a couple of our multiplayer grind videos. People will see what we mean about like locking a monster down. It's hilarious.
It's a thing we do fairly often.
When we're grinding, at the very least.
Oh yes, especially when we're grinding.
Yeah, when we're actually doing videos, we'll just bring, damage weapons. We won't try to go too heavily into paralysis. But because I'm using switch axe, kind of got like one good switch axe to use because, my paralyzed switch axe is pretty much the only useful weapon.
Pretty much.
Through like 90% of the time. And that's a weapon with minus affinity, so I don't like that. But the paralyze is good because it helps everybody else.
Yay, paralysis.
Yeah.
Although it only helps everybody else when you aren't knocking them around.
Well, I'm actually pretty good at not knocking everyone around all the time.
Yeah, you're fine. It's just the switch axe is kind of bad for that.
Yeah. If you use certain attacks, you'll always knock people around, and I always avoid those certain attacks.
Right. You're no longsword user. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. And, I got a second KO on him.
Excellent.
Going pretty good. And, I think that lantern's just about to break soon.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, the lantern's actually extremely fragile. It's just kind of hard to take hits on it.
It's a small target, but it's very easy to break. You can get some hits on it.
And now he can't flash me any longer, so I can give free hits whenever he attempts to blind me.
I'm still gonna continuously laugh at your hammering, though.
No, my hammering's pretty decent.
Decent is as accurate as you can get.
It's not like it's horrible or anything. I actually got 2 KOs on him. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's not horrible at all. It's just, someone who uses the hammer all the time is going to notice a lot of things.
Yeah, even though, honestly, whenever you fought Gobu, you never really get more than like 1 or 2 KOs off on him anyways.
Can't, because of the building resistance and also, higher resistance, because multiplayer Gobus.
Not to mention, like, it's kind of harder to hit their head when you're playing multiple people, because you don't know if they're going to go for you or if they're going to go for someone else, and you have to have them kind of facing you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Less predictable.
It's kind of a curse playing with a hammer, but hammer's still great multiplayer.
I bear with pride.
And also, for people who haven't noticed, like, with this Switch X, when you charge it up, the little gun hammer will cock up.
Yep, it's also a hammer.
So,
called it a Switch X.
Again, like, I should probably also mention this guy, as you might have guessed, is weak to fire, but also really weak to water, because guess what? It's a water monster.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah. Also, you know that... We've mentioned it a couple times, but the attack where he tries to suck you down. That attack right there, that will actually do water blight damage to you. Just the sucking part. And it's really obnoxious.
Yeah, it's... Also, if the actual bite gets you, it does very heavy damage.
Yeah, it does a ridiculous amount of damage, especially if he's enraged. It might just kill you if you're just missing a bit of health. As you can see, there's a prime example of him trying to flash you, but his thing is broken.
Neener,
Yeah.
etc.
Something to note about his flash range. It's kind of short in some cases. Like, it's really far in front of him, but if you get to his sides or the back of him, it has a very short range. And I get water blight anyways because Luke hates me.
Ludrath? Why?
Why? Well, they just hate me, that's all. Another good spot to hit with the hammer, if you're not able to hit the head, attack the back. You'll deal a lot of damage on the back. On top of it, if he has the spikes out, you'll do even more damage. Because you hit the spikes first, and the spikes are, well, they break. They don't have an actual break, but, that's kind of the idea there.
Right, they're more solid, so
they're brittle, is the thing.
Also, trying to push them back in must hurt like heck.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a better point. Like, you're basically shoving pointy spikes back into his body.
Ow.
Yeah, but that would actually really hurt. Also, those fish that are swimming around like that, those are the bomb marijuana that you can just get from spearfishing.
Yep.
So if I had a spearfish, I could totally go to this area and get some delicious free bomb marijuanas.
How exciting. Do you have a spearfish?
No, sadly I kept forgetting to bring the spearfish every time I was intending to show it off. But at this point I just I'll just explain it. I'm sure they'll get the idea, considering I showed it off before with some other fish.
Right. Also, they're still called harpoons.
Yeah, well, bleh. And, man, he's limping.
Oh boy, we all know what that means, except the viewers probably don't.
It means he has certain shortcuts that he will go to under the water, and then he will instantly go to the sleeping spot, which is really obnoxious.
Yep, you cannot follow him.
Showing it off. Digs into the ground, and bam, he's several zones away. That's pretty annoying.
Yep, and it's going to happen almost every time, because it's where he goes immediately when he gets started wounded.
Yeah, unless he goes to like 1 and you see him limp in 1, then you could probably catch him in 3.
Right, if you're lucky. But generally that's if you're lucky.
Yeah, generally. Normally he'll go to 1, you chase him to 1 if you fish him out of the water. and then he'll go to 3, and then he'll go to his sleeping spot. That's the general kind of the idea of his movement. What it'll generally be if you're doing really well at the fight.
We fought him enough that we really understand this very simple pattern.
Yeah, you needed a hammer, I recall.
Lantern pluses.
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't really record any of that for a grind thing. I should have recorded a few of them, but I didn't. Because I'm just lazy.
Yeah, that's all right.
And guess what? You know what? I gotta trap him. Yeah. This is the best way to trap. Also, he managed to gain enough health, but you know what? He's pretty tranked, so I dip him just below the amount of health he needs to be captured. So yeah, almost went wrong.
Sneaky.
Yeah. So you know, if he doesn't fall asleep when he's in the trap like this, then just punch him a couple times and it'll be fine.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best. Try not to waste your tranks and traps. That almost went sour, but it didn't.
Yep, just got it.
I win. I think I did pretty well with the hammer.
Oh, yeah, no, you
I took a lot of hits, but
it's just, you know, certain things that
when Gobu
become
puffs
very
up,
obvious to someone who really knows how to use a hammer.
Here's the thing: when Gobu puffs up, and it's kind of a single player thing, and you're all alone, he's probably gonna try to roll over you. Especially when I don't use Evasion Plus, you can trample a lot. Actually, that's kind of like one of the main crutches that I've gotten used to in Monster Hunter Tri. I have Evasion Plus. I can dodge out of everything. When I don't have it, it's like I can still dodge out of everything, right? Right? No.
No.
Then I get the timing wrong because I'm used to having more leeway.
Right.
But I even got like Gobu Whiskers in the reward box. That's kind of rare. Basically, the best way to get them is through the actual carves.
Yeah, the sneaky carves.
Mm-hmm. In fact, like if all you need is Gobu Whiskers, carve the whiskers, let Gobu kill you 3 times, get out of the fight with under 5 minutes, and bam, you got your whiskers, you got your armor.
You could also do a subquest depending on what it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could probably just fish. No, because
you're gonna alert him.
Yeah, you're gonna alert him, so you can't fish him out. That's right. You can only fish him out when he has not seen you before.
Well, sometimes you can get him another time. Sometimes you'll go and be lazy in 4.
But that has, again, he doesn't have to be alerted to your presence in the area.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get him to reset.
So, for getting into the 4-star, I get upgraded food items. So I get better buffs.
And the food still sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm. Popo tongue. Yeah. Popo tongues, you always come back to haunt me from Freedom Unite.
Oh, yes. One of the villagers taught him that joke, of course. You all know which villager.
Yep. She needs to die.
Well, that's a little harsh.
Look, I got this hammer here. It'd be really easy. I can crush her like a grape.
Still really harsh.
Oh no, think of it as mercy killing.
I do not think of it as mercy killing, you horrible person, you.
Oh, fine. Fine, I'll let her live. And, well, she's have something new to tell us, and, oh yeah, we got access to the Tundra, a new place.
And he never doubted you for very long.
And, this is where they start giving you little secret shortcuts once you reach the Tundra. So I'm just pointing that out right now, just so it doesn't come as a surprise.
Such a shame, too.
Yeah. There's this area and one more map to show off, yeah.
Everyone knows what it is. We've talked about it.
Yeah, the volcano.
There you go.
Tundra and volcano don't have shortcuts.
Why?
I think it would have been neat to have a shortcut, but the question is also, considering how the maps are laid out, how would they make a shortcut? Kind of.
Same way they did it the other ones. They don't make sense.
Actually, they do kind of make sense.
I guess the island one makes sense.
The island one makes sense, and the one where you drop down a hole, and if you look up in the map where you end up, you can see the hole you drop down from.
Yeah, but it's still partly on different.
True,
it's like a different section of the map. There was probably like a part of cave in the middle.
And the flooded forest, if you look where you came from, there's like a little hole that kind of like goes through like a tunnel that you probably swam through.
And you can't go back for some reason.
No.
See, but that's just it. There's like the tunnels and things. It would have been just as easy to have a fake tunnel in the tundra.
I guess they just wanted to make the maps more hard, so there's no shortcuts.
Ah.
I don't know. But she's got more items. I like more items. Fortunately, stuff I can't afford, but I get more ammo choices, and this is good too, because I'm gonna be using bowgun soon. It's soon that time to use bowgun for a proper large hunt again. It'll still be a little while, but it's getting there.
Progress.
Progress. I love it. And yeah, she. That wasn't even really a very good pun.
Aren't any of her puns good?
Yeah, but that one's especially bad. Like, she wasn't even trying.
I still don't think she ever really is trying.
No, but some of them actually make sense. This time she just said, "Oh, water." Damn it, pun lady. You should be glad I have M4 here, because I would have crushed you like a grape a long time ago. Like a grape.
You're such a monster.
Who's the real monster here?
You.
No, Laggy.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, he's shaking the island to pieces.
You just have monster friends. You go hang out with them on the weekends.
Yeah, I learn all the tricks of the trade.
He's gonna be so pissed when you go down there to hunt him.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose. I could just pretend I killed him. Like, well, I'll go back to the village elder. Like, yeah, I killed him. Here's a scale. Yeah, totally. See this scale? I totally ripped this from him as I struggled with him.
Yep.
I didn't get it off of a shiny or anything. Don't believe me. Oh no, believe me. No, totally believe me. No.
You're a terrible liar.
Look, I'm just a bad compulsive liar, okay?
Immediately follows up with "Don't believe me." Oh dear.
I am a terrible compulsive liar. What can I say? I'm also apparently a compulsive truth teller, so it alternates. It's kind of awkward.
That must make things difficult.
It does. People don't know whether I'm telling the truth or lying half the time.
It might actually make it easier to lie.
Well, no, because then people just
Assume you're lying.
you and leave.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you're trying to get work. But more farm upgrades. All the farm upgrades.
Oh, farm upgrades, man.
Yeah.
Especially mushrooms. They're delicious.
Yeah. I think this is the last mushroom upgrade.
I think you're right.
And it's like I knew I would need those shroom germ pluses and stuff like that. I wonder how.
Honey.
Oh, there's that
slim fat diet.
It's
great.
Yeah, the slim fat diet. Ho, political commentary. Oh man, that dumb diet where people eat lots of fat food and get slim. Only here it's honey. But this is the honey box upgrades. Something you really want, especially when you get into like multiplayer. And oh, wow, the busy bees I bought from the Argosy trader. Gasp.
I really do wish I could use the farm.
Oh yeah. Well, we got the trading post and we've abused that thoroughly.
Oh my, yeah, we've got quite a stash of honey already.
Oh yeah, people. When I get to posting those videos, which will be sometime after single player. Yeah. We'll probably be bragging about how much honey we have. We have so much honey. We have so much honey that the counter stops at 999, but we have more honey than that.
Oh my.
Hey, you gotta stock up and be prepared, man.
Honey's important.
It's
got potions.
I think we're good for the entire Let's Play.
Yeah, probably.
And probably even past that. It'll take us a long time to get through that honey unless we just decide, I need 1,000 catalysts and I need it now. how would we get all the bugs?
That doesn't sound like fun at all.
No, we can't really farm bugs in very easily. I don't think there's a very good trade for those either.
Not really.
No.
Some depends on the bug.
Ah, yeah. Now I got him in a new costume, the piggy melon.
Yeah.
It's a watermelon.
The flower.
Well, watermelons have yellow flowers. Did you know that?
No, I mean the flower pun, the name of the soup.
And the angel leotard. It is the same as the one in Freedom Unite.
And it's still great.
And only they removed the G from it because there's no G rank.
Right.
And they made that piggy costume because, oh man, Freedom Unite has a G rank. Let's make a special costume for the pig to celebrate that.
Oh well, the G wasn't what made the costume great anyway,
No.
was it?
It was the skin tight satin suit with little wings on it. Yeah. Oh, how I love to torture that poor pig. And she's telling me all the information about the Gobu, and she's like, wait, oh, that's right, you killed that thing. Sure, could have mentioned that earlier, but I'm useless and an asshole, if you remember. Guilt, sweetheart. Sweetheart, listen to me. When I'm done killing the pun lady, you're next.
Hey now, what did I say?
Look, the guild sweetheart has it coming.
Yeah, but you need the work.
Look, once I'm done with all the work, I can kill her. That's how it works, right?
Deal.
Okay, good. Excellent. Oh, I hate her so much. Speaking of which, they will be introducing something new, harvesting tours.
Oh boy.
So you might notice right off the bat, I will start with the hunting tours. And that's probably something I'm going to be doing solo commentary, just, being laid back, chill, and, just explaining about the areas, all the awesome things, and pointing out a little bit of the architecture around,
Sounds like fun.
It's just going to be a little bit of exploration, that's all. But we'll see you next time.
See ya.